Good afternoon, my neuromelanated family. How are you today? I am doing just wonderful. Um, Praying that you are as well. I am out here in nature where I thrive best, enjoying this beautiful sunny day. And I wanted to come on for a few moments and share some things that's been on my mind. This past couple of days, and I've been needing to come on and talk about it a little bit. And just to give you guys a reminder, a lot of these things that we talk about and that I talk about may even be things that I've mentioned before, but sometimes we need a reminder. If it's something that's very, very, very important, which all is important, all that's happening today and all that we're talking about is important, but some things we need to talk about as often as possible because continuing to hear it over and over helps it to get in your psyche. And at a time like now, that can mean something great for us once we realize some of these things are very, very critical. Hearing it over and over can be very instrumental for us. So I wanted to mention some things about the pharmaceutical companies and the health system here in Babylon. Um, and I'm not going to take a long time because I just want to get the points across, share the information, and and then move on for something even more information later. But I want to talk about the brain dead hoax. If you've ever heard of that term before, there's a video out there, and I've seen it a couple of times. I'm going to try to find it and post it. Um, I I'm going to ask that you do some research on when a person is deemed brain dead in these hospitals. Um, Allegedly, brain death is a hoax. And I want you to research that. I want you to look into that. Um, and I'm not going to elaborate so much, but I just want you to know that there's a term out there, and that it's something that you need to look into. I had I have a old good friend of mine that just lost her daughter a little over a year ago. Yeah, about a year ago, a little bit over. And I found out, she called me one day and she was just boo-hoo crying. She couldn't even talk. And she called me actually. And so she hung up and I called her back. And it took a while for her to get calmed down so she can share with me that I knew her daughter was in the hospital and I wasn't sure what she was in there for. But what I found out that her daughter she was 18 years old. She was a beautiful young lady just beginning her life, the beginning of her life, real life. And she was put in the hospital supposedly for, back in 2020, that thing that a lot of people were put in the hospital for. And anyway, the hospital found out that she had on her driver's license that she was an organ donor. Well, make a long story short, she didn't last that long in there. They walked out and told my friend that she was brain dead and that they were going to, at some point, needed them to consider pulling the plug. And so, two things. The brain dead part of it, do some research on that. And also, if you know anybody melanated, neuromelanated like us, look like me, us, and they have organ donor on their license, tell them to take it off ASAP, okay? Because there's a target age where Oh, it's just so evil, y'all. You get what I'm saying. Tell them to take it off. Okay? My friend no longer has her daughter today, and she was at the ripe age of 18 years old. And that's all I'm going to say about that. The other thing I wanted to mention to you guys is that know that everything in our body, every organ, everything is there for a reason. And it brought to mind, I was listening to a message last night from a very powerful teacher, and she mentioned about the appendix. And that was the second time I had heard that. I had heard it before a few years ago. But that the appendix, a lot of times doctors will tell you you need to get your appendix removed. You need to get your gallbladder removed, your tonsils removed. I've heard of and know a lot of people that have went in hospitals to have those items, organs, body parts removed, and the doctors tell them that they're not really serving a purpose anyway. Know that everything in your body is serving a purpose. Everything. The appendix is, like she said last night, it's a library. She referred us back to understanding what the appendix is in a book. So your gallbladder aids in digestion, from what I understand. Research it. Do your own research. Your tonsils. They say that it traps germs. But it's more to it than that, okay? With your tonsils and everything that was created in your body was created for a reason. If it didn't need to be there, it wouldn't be there. So I'm just going to scratch the surface and say, research all of this information, and so you can know for yourself and protect yourself. And just don't believe everything that these medical providers tell you. I don't care what they tell you. If you got a loved one in the hospital and they're telling you that they need to take this medicine, you need to research that medicine. You need to know what's in that medicine. You need to know all about it. You need to automatically just start digging in. If everything they tell you, you need to research it and confirm. Do your own research. Don't just take what the doctors say. Don't just take what people say, guys. And that's just common sense 101. And especially at a time like now, because they are taking our people off this planet in record numbers. Okay? So we have to be mindful. We have to be careful. We have to pay attention. First of all, we shouldn't trust them. If we really know what their motive has been for 500 years and more so now than ever, it's like they're on crunch time, then you should not trust anything they tell you without researching it. I mean, don't ever trust it. You research it. Don't trust it up front. Look into it yourself before you agree to anything, because it's critical. And this is just a reminder. I know I've said that before in other videos, but the other thing is, go back and start purchasing. Look into natural remedies. Go back and start. I've said many times, eating from the earth, because that's what we should be doing anyway. We're frutivores. But the thing I wanted to point out today is we need to start going back and using all those old remedy items that our grandmothers and great grandmothers used to give our mothers, and let me give you some examples, and then you always do your own research. Don't just take what I say. I'm just gonna plant the seed, and then you use your brain and your ability to go and confirm and research yourself. But I would advise you to pull away from using these chemicalized medications, even over the counter. Everything that you can even consider purchasing, you need to read the back. And then you just need to think about who provided it. You just have to, guys. I started about 4 or 5 years ago. I went back. I started buying old school meds back. And I say meds, I remember when my great grandmother, a lot of the medications we use today that we buy from Babylon, and the pharmaceutical systems, our grandparents didn't have it. They didn't have that stuff. And so, but we survived, and we were healthier then, much healthier then than we are now. So I remember my grandmother and my great grandmothers having baking soda. I remember them using baking soda for many things: borax, turpentine, mentholatum, witch hazel, alcohol, Epsom salt, cod liver oil, castor oil, mineral oil, peroxide, just, and etc., etc. And a lot of those things were natural. Some of those weren't completely natural, but they did the job, and they weren't harmful like things are today. These over the counter and even the drugs that are prescribed to us, God, they're drugs. They talk about cocaine and crack, meth, and all that. I'm not qualified to compare, but drugs are drugs. If they're prescribing it for you and they calling it a drug, it's a drug. Drugs are drugs. And many times, most of the time, unless in an acute situation, we don't need those meds. And make sure, if you need it, if it's an acute situation, you need it, you have to do what you have to do. But guys, do your research, because always go back and just remember what's taking place right now, and know what you're putting in your bodies. So I started going back and purchasing old school meds about 4 or 5 years ago. I just started stocking up on everything I could think of, and I did some research, and I started stocking up on all of that stuff I just named. And even there's even more. I didn't name them all, but just do your research on old school remedies and start stocking up on the old stuff we used to use that didn't have all those chemicals in it. I would suggest stop using any items that has chemicals, and that's most anything you buy over the counter. All they did was take a little bit of what was healthy and what was necessary and what's more beneficial, and then they added chemicals to it. And we won't even get into why they did it, because I know you got to know by now. I have a theory of why they did it. So, but I stopped using lotion years ago. I stopped using lotion. I use organic coconut oil. Sometimes I'll use grapeseed oil. And I use that for my skin. The skin is the biggest organ on the body. And so when you put in those lotions over the counter, I don't care what type of lotion it is, read the back and look at those hard to pronounce words back there. And they're full of all kinds of chemicals. Read the back and you can see it for yourself. And you don't have to have that. All you need, you can go and use, organic coconut oil. It'll do the same job, and it's healthier. Like I said, the biggest organ on your body is your skin. So whatever you put in your skin, it goes directly into your blood and your system. So reconsider what you're putting on your skin. And it may not affect you immediately, but over a period of time, guys, it can and it will. It's like a slow process. Okay? You get my drift? So just sharing some of the things that I've done. I stopped using lotions years ago. I stopped using toothpaste. I won't even name, toothpaste. All the names of toothpaste. I stopped using them. I use baking soda. I remember when my grandmother used to use baking soda. My great grandmother used baking soda. And sometimes I'll, if I can find a really good no fluoride toothpaste, organic, every so often I'll use that too. But you know what? I'm so at the point to where I don't hardly trust anything. I question everything that they sell. Sometimes even if the package says it's organic or it says it's healthy or whatever, you just got to keep your eyes open and use your brain, people. You got to know that what's happening is really real right now. But anyway, so I use all natural deodorant, and I've heard that many people use lime juice now. Um, and some of us, everybody don't perspire the same. So I don't. I mean, you take a good shower, and I don't smell. I'm one of those people. I don't perspire very easily. So I don't. How some people get. I just go ahead and say get musty very easy. Thank goodness I'm not one that. So I don't have to protect myself as much. But more so in the summertime when it's more hot. But consider looking into finding non-chemicalized healthy items for deodorant, and anything natural that you can do your research and find. Also, I don't use commercialized soaps. I use black soap. You can get African black soap. You can just you can go on Amazon and find it, and a lot of these your African stores sell it. But it's all natural, and it's much more healthy for you than using what Babylon has provided and made a ton of money off with chemicals in it. You know, consider black soap and research. Do your research and find those things that are healthier as far as soap. And guys, something else, and I know this is probably hard for especially for women. I have pulled away from using perfumes. No, I I I don't. I take a good shower, and when I come out, I'm smelling fresh. And if it means not smelling extra cute or extra good, whatever, however you want to describe it, extra, with all the extra smell good. If it means being healthy and not putting that on my body, then I'm going to choose the healthy side. I'm going to choose what's healthier for me. You take a shower, you smelling good. You don't have to use perfume. Babylon made a ton of money off of, especially with us women, because that's the one thing we can't leave out the door without grabbing our perfume. That's special, but it's chemicalized, guys. It has a lot of chemicals in it. So consider just using, taking your shower and using those healthy items and letting that do you. I say do you like my grandma used to say. Let that do you, and stay healthy. You know, um, Perfumes have a lot of chemicals in it. Just read the back, you'll see it. So that's just a few things I wanted to talk about today because that was just on my mind. And like I say, sometimes Spirit will give me this information and I'll keep being pressed to talk about it until I do talk about it. So I want to talk about that. And the last thing I wanted to mention, I was listening to a video this morning. This young lady came on and she was complaining about the trouble she was having going to her bank getting her money out. And I think she banked with Bank of America. And she did offer the information that Bank of America had given them a warning. They've given them some kind of warning concerning some of the troubles that were coming. And she did go in, her and her husband, to try to get money recently, and she couldn't. They gave her problems getting her money. She tried to use the ATM, is what she said initially, and it wouldn't allow her. When she went to the bank, they deterred her by telling her that she wouldn't be able to use the ATM at the bank as well, and some other things. I'm saying all that to say, guys, do your research. Understand this banking system. Okay? Research and find out exactly how this system works. I'm telling you to use your own brain, common sense 101, and critical thinking, and do your own research. I started withdrawing my monies years ago, a little bit at a time, because if you don't understand what this system is about and how it works, and you just walk in the bank and try to get your money, it might not go so well. So do your research, people. I'm just going to tell you what I did. I got some inside information a few years ago, and I listened. And I went and I started making withdrawals in small increments. Yeah. And I started some years ago. I say about 6, 7 years ago. And I'm glad I did. Do your research, people, because you might want to consider doing that. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of stuff that's coming. And actually, the information is there. I mean, they're telling you, if you're paying attention, about a lot of this stuff. Just so many of us are not paying attention. And sometimes we need to be reminded, of some of the things we've already been told. Maybe it didn't sink in the first time. And so if we hear it enough, maybe we'll start paying attention as well. Because I know, I learned from a lot of my teachers that I listen to on the system, and I read, and I learn a lot. Because none of us know everything, and we will never know everything. Life is a journey of learning. So, but whatever I get, I always try to give back or share it with others. And because, we need to help each other. We're one, and we're reflection of one another, and we should be working together collectively. So that's what I'm doing right now, guys. I just wanted to come on and just share what, this information. Some of it is going to be a reminder for you, and some of it may be brand new. But trust me, if it wasn't important, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you about it. For real, for real. So that's going to be my video for today, for right now. Take this information, dig deeper. Like I say a lot of times, I just scratch the surface. It's so much more. But if I can plant a seed and get you to probe and start digging in, you can find just what I found, and it'll help you. And once you get that information and get that help, reach back and help someone else. Each one reach one, as Khalid Munro always says. Each one reach one. Either reach one or teach one, something like that. If y'all know Khalid, I know you've heard him say it. But we have to help each other. I appreciate my teachers. I appreciate Nefertiti. I think it's Sareti. I think I'm saying it right. Nefertiti. If you're watching this, you know who I'm talking about. I appreciate you, girl. There's so many teachers out there that I learn from, or that I'm reminded by some of their information that they provide, and I don't take it lightly. I appreciate it so very much, because in this war we need to hold each other's hand. That's something we need to be doing, guys, and I'm trying to do my part. So anyway, thank you for coming on and listening to me today. I want to ask you to like the video if anything I said resonated. Share, and subscribe if you haven't already. If anything I say, helps you in any way. And pass the information on. If you know someone that you love, that you think that this information can benefit, please pass it on, guys. That's what we can do to help each other. Okay? So I'm going to get off. I have an event I want to attend this evening, so I want to prepare for that. But I just wanted to get on and just share this information. It was pressing me, and so I wanted to give it to you. And so I appreciate you so much for listening again. I love you. I love you. I love you. You have no idea how much. And enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Get some sun. Get some sun, guys. The sun. And I want to tell you one more thing too. Sometimes the truth is hard, especially when the lies have been told for so long. So the sun is our food, guys. Just know we don't even have to eat food. The sun is our food. I know that sounds harsh to some, but it's the truth. And if we all realize how important the sun is, we would be in it every day. So the sun is everything to us. We're sun people. Get some sun, guys. Get out there and get some sun, please. I love you once again. I say assalamu alaikum, namaste, and ashe to you. Take care, guys. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.